your greatness. Grow, grow, grow. For your greatness. Innovate, celebrate, activate your greatness. Central Valley GEG. Grow your greatness. Grow, 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 grow. Grow your greatness. Innovate, celebrate, activate your greatness.
All right, welcome everybody. This is another Central Valley GEG special occasion. I'm Joe Marquez, and as always, it's the other Joe Marquez. No, I mean, it's Adam Juarez. Adam, how you doing, my friend? It's so good to see you and to hear from you. How you doing, my friend?
I'm staying busy, man. Really starting to come to the end of the first year of my new job, and really enjoying this new position, and enjoying getting together with you as much as possible, and going golfing now, the official GEG golf tournaments, and then doing these things.
You know, I think that's a great idea, Adam. Let's get together a GEG golf tournament. Yeah. Every hole we share a new tech tip. What do you think about that? That sounds pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to do that next time.
I think we're going to do that. That's fantastic. Adam, we did go golfing last week, and it was fantastic to hang out with you. We want to make sure we connect with all of you as well. So just spread the word that, Central Valley GEG is getting off the ground. We're going to move forward. We haven't done as much as we wanted to because of our jobs. I want to make sure people understand, like you went from a county position and you're now at a district position. I went from a state level director position and I'm at a district position. I think we're doing a lot more work, that good work at our level, because we get to interact with teachers every day. We get to interact with students every day and to see if what we're preaching actually works. And I love that. I love feeling that what we are doing is truly make a difference on the ground, in the classroom every single day, and that we can test out whether it works or not, and then amend it or alter it if it's needed. What is your take on that? Because I know you're doing a lot of great work with vibe coding, and you're going into classrooms every day talking with teachers. How is this kind of transition working for you, for your mind, body, and spirit in getting ed tech back to where it should be?
Yeah, it's the same as you, dude. Just like you said, we actually get to see the fruits of our labor, in our previous roles where we were pretty much doing the same kind of work, but we're doing it from 30,000 feet. Now we're at the ground level where the rubber meets the road. And when we work with teachers, we're coaching one-on-one or small groups, we're doing PDs. Now we have the opportunity to actually follow up. Before, I would do a PD in the beginning of the year or maybe first thing in January, and I would come back the next year, and it's the same thing a lot of times because I wasn't there to follow up. So I'm pretty much every 5 to 6 weeks, I'm coming back to these schools, and we're building upon the work that we've done before. And the cool thing is, I know this isn't Google related, but doing a lot of work with Snorkel. And I worked with a middle school math teacher on Snorkel, and she fell in love with it and just running with it. It's been great to see her enthusiasm. And then it just spread organically. I find out that now one of our high schools is now math department's going wild with it. And it wasn't me, the one who introduced it to him. It was that middle school math teacher whose dad teaches math at the high school. She taught him on the weekend, and now he's running with it. So it's just to see that the fruits of my labor is it's intoxicating. I can't get enough of it.
No, it's great. And the thing is, we can tell so many people about the things we see as beneficial and important. But a lot of times people look at us like, well, that's you. Like you're so, this or that. And I don't know if I could do that. But when a teacher next door to you says, hey, I have this tool, you want to take a look at it, it seems to be more adopted that way, that organic approach. I think you wrote a book. Didn't you write a book about organic ed tech coaching? I think you did.
Organic, yeah.
Hey, you know what I love about your book, Adam? This is a book that doesn't expire. The ideas that you and your wife Kat put in to the organic ed tech coaching, I believe they will resonate 20 years from now. and you can't say that for a lot of ed tech books. A lot of ed tech books, you say, after a year, maybe they're obsolete or the data is old, but the strategies and techniques and words of wisdom you have in there, I think will resonate for the ages. So I think it's going to age like fine wine. And I think that works well for you and Kat because you love fine wine. So I think that's a really good thing. I just want to make sure people know that book is still out there. It's on Amazon, everybody. Let's bring it back to the top. Great book. And Adam is proving that it is effective. Well, people aren't here to listen to us talk. Well, they are, but not just talk about this. They're here to have us show them a few cool things that we're doing within the Google ecosystem. And right now our mantra in the Central Valley is grow your greatness, right? Grow your greatness because in the Central Valley, we grow basically, we're the breadbasket of the world. We grow the food for the world. We want to grow your greatness and we have to plant seeds for that. And I want Adam to plant the seeds of what he's doing with vibe coding using Gemini that will blow your mind. So Adam, I'm going to bring up your screen. I want to see the greatness that you're growing in your district so that it can spread that pollination around to everybody else. So let's take a look at it.
So right now you're looking at, I have a little website where I kind of curate all of my vibe coding projects. So if you don't know what vibe coding is coding for people who don't know how to code. I know what some of these coding languages are, but I've never been taught. I've never written a line of code in my life, but I know what the power of coding is. Now with generative AI, with tools like Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, Canva, you name it, just with my own actual language, I can describe what I want, what I like, and it will code my vision. So what we're looking at right here, again, I get a lot of requests from teachers for the little pain points, things for tools that they wish they had. I said, you know what? Give me some time. You've described what your pain point is. Let me see if I can vibe code something to make a custom tool to meet your specific needs. I think that's the real beauty of generative AI right now is because, yeah, we can go find a tool that works that someone else built and get paid for it. Okay, fine, it works. And then you got to maintain that subscription stuff if it becomes part of your workflow. But what if instead of buying a tool, we can create our own tools? And I think that's the most empowering thing about vibe coding. So what we're looking at here is a simple little tool, tool that I made for a teacher who was like, hey, you know what? We're in testing season right now, and we have our fast finishers. I want them to do something that is academic, something that's that's going to help them learn and build for their future. So we have from grades 3 through 5. When they study American history, they said, okay, when you have some free time, we want you to become more aware of the states, like geography. I think kids today don't know geography nearly as well as we do growing up because they have Google Maps and the internet and they can pull it up and figure it out real quick. We didn't have that. I know I'm a geography nerd, so I love this kind of stuff. So how can I bring this again? This is DOK level 1 stuff, but it's something to build their geographic awareness. So I remember when I was in the classroom, I found websites that did this for me, and it was fine. Who knows what kind of ads the kids were getting, but here it's within our closed system. We don't need to worry about data being leaked and kids getting a bunch of ads. So what we have here is a tool that I made that helps kids get practice, multiple reps with identifying states on the map. I coded this with my own knowledge of the English language. This wasn't me writing a line of code. So first of all, let's take a look at what the finished product looks like. So this one right here is a multiple choice version of this. So you start by entering your name. And when I was vibe coding this, I said I want a kind of a little splash page where it says that the student has to enter their name. So we're going to put here. All right, start the game. And what it does, it highlights a state here on the map. And then I have to use my knowledge here, pick and choose it. And then it will then put all my correct states in here. If I get one wrong, it will still move on to the next state, but it's always going to, I coded it where it's going to always return back to it. So you can never finish until you have actually finished all the states here. So again, it has a timer here, it tells me my errors, and they actually get a point value for every one they get correctly, and you lose a point for ones that you get wrong. And the faster you do it, you even get bonus. So it's like the kids are playing a game here. So I don't want to do this wrong on purpose here. It's not Iowa. So again, I could go through this whole thing here. I'm not going to do it the whole thing because it's going to take a while. But you can see the way this works here. And when they're done, there'll be a pop-up right here that shows their score. And I one of the things, so again, what this the cool thing is, it really gets me thinking about my end user, how I want them to interact with it. So I have to think of all the little things that what I want, what I don't want. So I just put in my prompt in Gemini. I go ahead. I want them to have to enter their name, and then it's going to show a map of the United States, and then it will then randomly highlight one a dark color, and when they get it right, it turns a different color. I wanted it to show them all the states right here. I even had to say, again, this is trial and error. I had to ask it so that the map area here on the left, and then the list on the right, they are two separate columns that will scroll independently. So when this one here on the right gets too long, then I don't have to be scrolling up on the left just so I can visualize it. So that was all things I had to think about. At the very end, when they see their score, there's a button for them to start over. It's also a button there for them to download their score as a JPEG. So it has it's almost like a little certificate that they could turn in. So if you wanted to hold the kids accountable for turning something in, then this could be something that they're able to do. So this is what it looks like, the finished product. I'm not going to play the whole game here, but I actually have another version of it that's where they have to just type in the actual name, a little bit more of a little more challenging for them to type the name of the state. And I even did another one, looks exactly like this, but when the state pops up, you have to type the capital. So that adds another level there. But when I go to edit mode here, this is what it looks like. I hosted in Google Sites. When I open up, you have all this code right here. I want to scroll here. Look at all this code. I couldn't tell you what 99% of this means because I'm not a computer scientist. I'm not a coder. But I do know this is HTML. You keep on going. All this code here came just from my description. Everything I've described about how this little app works all came from me describing it, and Gemini was able to generate the code for this. And it's simple. If you can copy and paste, you can make these things. I simply copy and paste into into Google Sites. And there's other tools too, but right here on the right side here, you have the embed button. You click here, embed code, and you paste your code in there that you pull from Gemini or Claude, ChatGPT, even Canva, whatever your preferred method is. But we're going to focus on Gemini here. You paste that in there, and then you can embed these in Google Sites.
I love this. Can you show them in Gemini how easy it is to do this with natural language processing? Let's do one just right off the cuff, right? Let's do one about like barn animals. Do one where they have to select which of the animals is a barnyard animal versus like a jungle animal or something.
Okay, we can do that. So when you come in here to Gemini, what the tool that you need to turn on to make the code, right, tools, you're going to click on Canvas. And what you're going to want to do here, by default for most people, it says fast right here. But if you have access to Pro or Thinking, it's going to be it'll work a little bit better as far as doing more complex tasks. I think I ran out of my Pro for my allocation for the day because I use it a lot. So I'm going to leave it on Thinking. But most importantly, just on Canvas. As long as you have that turned on, you're fine. So what I do here, then it's now just my language, my thoughts. It's just a big old thought dump here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say, write the code. Let's see, for I use the word widget that is embedded into a Google site to do the following. Okay, so what we're going to do here is this will be a game for kindergartners to determine whether an animal is from the jungle or barnyard. Okay, so I'm going to give them a list here. So I'm going to put here barnyard. We're going to put here, we'll say duck, horse, cow, sheep, goat, and we'll do one more here. I live in the country and I should know this. We'll say a lamb. Okay, whatever. All right, and then I'm going to put here jungle. And these will be our choices here, real basic. Say tiger, lion, monkey. See, we'll see. Jungle. We'll go sloth, jaguar, and we'll say one more here. All right. So I'm thinking I need to think of all the things of how the user will interact with it. So we'll say randomly show an image of any animal from this list below. Have buttons for either, we'll say for both jungle and barnyard. User will select which category. So I have a running timer at the end. Show a pop-up of the final score. Okay, we'll keep it real basic here. And then we'll go ahead and just send that message, and we're going to let Gemini is going to take my language and develop the HTML code here. It's going to develop HTML code because I told it Google Sites. Google Sites requires HTML code. It doesn't run a lot of the other types of coding languages. So you'll see the code here in real time start popping up here. Here's my look at that. So you can test it out right here. So it's giving me 30 seconds. All right, snake. All right, jungle, barnyard. Let's see, jungle, barnyard, jungle. So it's gonna be 30 seconds. How many can I get correct? Sloth. There we go. Barnyard, jungle. How many did I get correct? Oh, I got 200. It gave me a score of 200. Now I'm testing this out right now, so I could add something that says in the beginning, have them type their name. I could also say put their time next to their score with their name at the very end, and I can also put a button that says they can download it as a JPEG file where they have their own little digital certificate. So those are all things that I could do. So if I'm doing this with Google Sites, all I have to do here, I'm right now in the preview mode. If I click right here where it says code, I'm just going to click in here. I'm going to select all the code here. I'm going to copy it. And I'll come here into Google Sites here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the embed button. Right here, go to code. And I will paste that in. Click next. And it's going to show me the preview. If I see the preview here, and that means the code is working. Sometimes when I do this, if you forget to say embed to a Google site, it will use other coding languages that doesn't work with Google Sites. So then you have to go back to Gemini and say, make this embeddable to Google Sites, and then it will create the whole thing using HTML. So I'm going to go ahead and click insert since it worked. And then I can resize it right here. Once it looks good there, I'm going to go ahead and publish it. And once it's published, we can preview it. So I put it at the bottom of this page here. And here's my actual live little game here to help the kindergartners learn the difference between barnyard and jungle animals.
And I love this, and I want people to understand, like in kinder and first grade, those touchscreen panels that are purchased and they're very, very rarely used. Kindergartners use it all the time. This is a great thing that you can create on your own, put up on the touchscreen, and they can come up and they can play this against one another, right? It's amazing. And I want you, Adam, to tell them again, how much coding did you actually use? Like actual coding did you use in this?
Zero. I didn't write any code.
You just have natural language, right?
Yep.
And I want people to understand this. Like the one you did about the states, right? That's social studies. You come from a social studies background. What if a teacher came to you who teaches poetry? How much poetry, Adam, do you know?
Not much.
Not much.
I know rap music. That's about it.
and talk about what is the language you guys use in poetry. What is it that you're looking for after reading a poem? Like, here's the thing, like Adam and I can do this, but it's you, the teacher, who has an expertise in your subject that will make this the best. It is your expertise that creates the power behind the invention. And so you're still using your critical thinking process. It's absolutely amazing. And this is just the beginning, everybody. This is just the beginning, because there is another program. Again, it's not Google, it's Perplexity. They just released Perplexity Computer about a month ago, and you can actually create whole apps right out of Perplexity Computer. Like, you can make a dashboard for anything, for tracking, it's absolutely amazing. This is just the tip of the iceberg of where we are. And the faster you join us, the faster you jump on our ship and learn how to navigate this, the better the experiences you're going to create for your kids are going to be. It's absolutely insane. And I know, Adam, people that regular classroom teachers get scared. Oh, I don't want to say scared. They get timid when people bring up computer science. Oh, I don't know coding. Oh, I can't do that. The coding of the future is your vocabulary, right? The coding of the future is using your words, and you just proved it. We created a brand new app, a brand new experience just by brainstorming or barnstorming, I guess we could say, in this. And you showing this in real time, in less than 5 minutes, having a brand new app that a kid can use to understand the difference between an animal in a barn and an animal in the jungle. That's simple, but you can do the same thing as in, let's say, 10th grade biology, the difference of organelles in an animal cell versus a plant cell, right? You can bring up the organelles and be like, plant cell or animal cell, right? You can say plant, animal, both. And you can see if they understand the difference between those. It's not, the age appropriateness comes in through your vocabulary, and you're showing all of our teachers can make their very own apps. They don't have to scour the internet anymore. All they have to do is scour their brain of what is possible and what should I make. It's absolutely amazing. I love this. And I love the way that you show it, because it makes it applicable and approachable. Ooh, we should make a GEG, a CVGEG shirt called "We Make Things Applicable and Approachable." I love it. It's fantastic. How have your teachers gravitated towards this? What are some of the things that they've said, or are some of your teachers making their own now because of what you've shown them? How do you see this kind of snowballing in your district?
It's starting to right now. There's still a very small little kind of cult following. Like they'll come to me with this problem. I'll say, all right, give me 10 minutes and I'll send them a link, something. And they're like, oh my God, like, how'd you do that? And that leads me to a return to that classroom. And we sit down and I show them with just what I just demonstrated right now. I was working with another national coach today, and she's been doing something similar, but with Canva. And it's been great. So it's, again, it's about building a little cult following. And eventually, it spreads like wildfire. Again, but to your point here, my background is in history. Okay, I can write these history apps with my eyes closed. But if you look here at one of the pages here where I curate a lot of these little games here that I've coded for my district, this for grades 3 through 5, the biggest list here is math. I don't teach math, but I get a lot of math teachers asking me these things that we need to come up with something for kids to do. A lot of times it's for those fast finishers. They want extra practice. So we have all these different ones here. So one we did right here, that I really I was pretty proud of. Let me find which one where I put it here. Is here we go, the quadrilateral identification quest. So these third grade teacher was just like, man, my kids have been playing this for like a week now, and just like they can't get enough of it. Like they have the quadrilaterals down. So so pretty much, again, the same process with vibe coding is click here, start quest. The first quest is to match the definitions. So they have to drag and drop to the and they get immediate feedback here. I did that one wrong. I'm doing these wrong, but you can see that it will give them immediate feedback. And once they match them, it goes on to another quest where they have to identify them in different ways. So they're getting all these reps on this DOK level and foundational skills. A lot of times DOK level 1 gets a bad rap. It's because I believe DOK level 1 gets done wrong. And we don't really build that foundational skills. You want to get to the higher DOK levels, you have to build that foundation. We can't just skip steps. So this is a simple way for them to really build some of that DOK level 1 basic knowledge in a math class. And here's the cool thing: the way Google works, again, with a lot of English learners, if a student who came here not speaking English, when they play this game, here's a button right here for Espanol. Oh, boom! Now it's all in Spanish. So if we really want to focus on getting them their content language while they're building their English language skills, we can go back and forth between both languages here to really help them with that basic knowledge. So again, that's just another little quirk you can throw in there. Say, hey, add a button where they can switch between languages, and you can put other languages as well. And Gemini is able to handle it.
I love it. It makes things accessible. It makes things meaningful. And again, when you help a teacher or a teacher learns to do this, you no longer have to search the internet for that perfect game or that perfect app. You can make it. You can make it. And like I said at the top of this, this is just the beginning. Like this is crawling. This is the stage of crawling when it comes to AI. We're going to be standing up. We're going to be walking. We're going to be sprinting, and we're going to be racing in the Olympics soon enough. But if you're just a spectator, I don't know what's going to happen. Jump on board with us, everybody. If you're in the Central Valley, we want to connect with you. Make sure that you like our Facebook page. Make sure you follow us here on our channels. Make sure you follow Adam and I wherever we are. I don't know. I used to be on socials. I think I'm still there, but I'm not. I don't mention it very much. But join us along in this. We want to make sure that I'm going to be real for a minute, Adam. I truly think that the Central Valley of California gets passed over a lot. Like there's a lot of talk about Southern California, about LA County. There's a lot of talk about Northern California. There's a lot of talk about everything except our areas. And I find that very saddening because we have some of the most enlightened and innovative and amazing educators, I would say, in the United States. And we want to make sure we make that shine. And that's why we're trying to revive the Central Valley GEG. And this example that you're showing shows that bright spot right there. If people don't know the name Adam Juarez, they need to, because you are a exemplary, not only teacher, but coach. So I just want to make sure you know that. You know that, but now you know it even more. Okay. Now let's switch gears a little bit. So it's still about making things. It's still about you taking your knowledge and turning it into something that maybe you could never create before. That's actually part of what SAMR is. Remember, SAMR is, there's substitution, augmentation, redefinition, right, is the end of it. We're trying to, we can get to redefinition much faster now because we can make it and we can define what our classroom looks like. And through vibe coding, you can definitely do that. I want to show you something else. Now, I want to acknowledge this right off the bat. The beard of knowledge himself, Eric Kurtz, has wrote a fantastic blog about making graphic novels using Notebook LM. Here's the funny thing. I was making graphic novels for my daughter to make sure that she understood her material all the way back in late November, early December. And so when I saw Eric post these, I'm like, this is fantastic. Now people have a gem that they can go to. And I want to give Eric a shout out. You can always go to EDU Gems. Okay, edugems.ai. And he has Google Gems, which are very specific pre-prompted chatbots for very specific things in education. And I want you to know this because, people are paying thousands of dollars for Magic School. You don't need to. Eric has curated his own magical school right here. I just want you to know that. Okay, everybody. So he has one here. If you want to go to it, it's right here. It's the bit.ly/Kurtz/graphic, and it'll take you to this graphic novel maker, and it'll help you make the graphic novel. But I want to walk you through how I did it myself without a pre-prompted gem. But I did want to give the Beard of Knowledge a shout out because he wrote a fantastic blog on this himself. And it's all going to stay within the Google ecosystem. Okay, so first thing I did was this. I went into my Google Gemini, and I said this. I need to make a activity for a 4th grade teacher. This teacher wanted me to make an activity about earthquakes in California. Now, I am a science teacher. I know a lot about seismic activity. I know a lot about how earthquakes occur. I understand the San Andreas Fault and how the different Pacific plates and northern plates are moving against each other, creating friction. I know all of these things. But what specifically do my students need to know in California state standards about earthquakes? So I used Gemini to help me craft what it's for. And once it allowed me to craft what my students needed to know, I said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to craft me a script for a graphic novel about a student who hates studying and thinks earthquakes are boring. And boom, Professor Quake appears to show him all the different things he needs to know about earthquakes and California. Make that happen. And I want the animation style to be anime. And so it made this amazing script with panel 1, page 2, panel 3. Because we said graphic novel, it knows exactly how to write a graphic novel script all the way down. It did this. And because it made this script in Gemini, I can click on these 3 dots right down here, right? These 3 little dots right down here. I'm going to click on, oh, you know what? I'm not even sharing my screen. Adam, you should have told me. Joe, you're not sharing your screen. All right. So here's my Gemini. Here's the script that it made, everybody. I'm sorry. You're probably thinking, what is this guy doing? Has he ever done a live broadcast before? So here's my script. It's right here. I click on these 3 dots and I selected export to docs. And I'm going to tell you why this is important, because in Notebook LM, you can upload from your docs, so you don't have to worry about where it's coming from. So that's what I did. I saved it to my docs, and then I opened up a Notebook LM, and I added the source from my drive right here. And it added it right here. An anime earthquake adventure for kids. It did it. And this is all I did. Now, I'm not going to show you the entire process, but I'm going to show you my my prompt, right? So here's my prompt right here. I went up to slide deck and I say, use the source, because the source is the script, to generate now here's the key. This is what I found. You have to say completed, readable graphic novel. Now, let me tell you why. Every time I said use the source to generate a graphic novel, half the time it made basically like an art director script of how you can make the graphic novel, but it didn't make the graphic novel. By changing it to generate a completed and readable graphic novel, now 9 times out of 10, I get a perfect graphic novel. So this is what I say, a completed and readable graphic novel. And this is what it made for me. Look at this. Go ahead.
It's an important lesson to learn when it comes to AI. AI is dumb. You have to tell it exactly what you want. It doesn't read your mind.
It
when
doesn't.
You say you want a graphic novel. It didn't really understand what was in your mind when you thought, I want a graphic novel that a kid could read. It just, a lot of times, yeah, it'll create something about how to do something. So you have to be that specific, tell it what you want, what you don't want.
That's it. You know, we always say AI is generic, and AI is dumb. It truly is. It is aloof. I won't say that. It's aloof. You have to use your words and description to do what you want it to do. So when teachers ask it to do something for them, I always say, like, imagine that it's a person that's never met children before. You have to be that descriptive to the AI to make it do exactly what you want. But it made this amazing graphic novel, right? And in Eric's description, he's done at this point, and it's fantastic. You share this with the kids, and it's done. But I took it a step further, right? Now, I want you to know they just added about a month ago the ability to download this as a PowerPoint. Okay? They've told me they're going to have it where you can export it as a Google slide. Now, why Google decided to open it up for PowerPoints first and not Google Slides, that's beyond me. But you know what? They get paid the big bucks. I don't know. But I download it as a PowerPoint, and then I upload that PowerPoint to my Google Drive. That's the key to this. You download it as a PowerPoint and you upload it as a Google Drive, as a Google Slide. And when you open it, you have it all ready to go. And again, if you want to hand this to your kids by sharing it to them via Google Classroom, they can open this and read this. But oh my goodness, here's where the amazing part happens. Have you used Google Vids, Adam? Google Vids is amazing. Yeah. And if you click this little button, this little friend right here, you can convert this video into a completely readable graphic novel. And it'll do it for you. It'll add the script, add the music, add everything. Take a look at this. Okay, here's my sound. I'm gonna load up my sound so you guys can hear it. Here it is. This is just me clicking on that Google Vids and saying create the script based off the images. Here it is.
Is the mantle, and deep inside is the core. He explained that Earth's crust is not one solid piece.
See, and you know, some of you are like, oh, that sound, that audio is too much. I can come here and I can mute the volume of my audio track or music track.
It is broken into tectonic plates. These plates float on the soft, moving mantle below them. They are always moving, bumping into each other.
But Adam, wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. Let me show you this, everybody. Because my Google slide here, because this Google slide here is in Google Slides, I can grab any of these images, click File, and I can download them as a JPEG. Now, why is this important? Because with Google Vids, you get Google VO. Let me show you this. I'm going to click on VO, and I'm going to add an ingredient. An ingredient is something that you want to add extra. I'm going to grab this slide that I just put in, and I'm going to say, make this into an exciting scene. I can, now again, the more I put into the prompt here, the better it becomes. All I do is hit generate. And it's going to make me an animated version of that slide. And now let me show you exactly how we would add this in. So here's the actual slide that I'm animating right now. And you can see off to the other side, it's generating it. I'm at 30%. I did one previously for you just so you can kind of see what it looks like. And this is it. Here it is. Adam, are you ready? Here's the beginning of Professor Quake. And then I said, turn this into an exciting intro. Watch what happens.
This is an educational adventure about earthquakes, faults, and how California's land is always changing. The ground is cracking, machines are buzzing, and the action is just beginning. What is really happening beneath our feet?
Welcome, travelers. I am Professor Quake, and we are about to begin a seismic journey.
Whoa, this is gonna be awesome.
Leo had a big problem.
You see that? It adds that extra, you have your static, but you added your script, and then you add the video to it. Now watch this. We just made this, everybody. We just made this, everybody. I'm gonna insert this right here. So now watch what happens. So we saw the Professor Quake. This is the kid going, I hate science. I hate learning about earthquakes.
Report was due tomorrow, and he did not know where to start. He sat in class feeling confused. Plate tectonics? Fault lines? It all felt like a giant jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces. Then suddenly, a swirling portal opened in the classroom. Out stepped Professor Quake. Professor Quake said, "Did someone say jigsaw puzzle? I'm Professor Quake, and I've got the ultimate cheat code for earth science."
Leo had a big problem. His earthquake report was due tomorrow, and he didn't know where to start. Plate tectonic.
Professor Quake began to
That one wasn't as great. I'd go back and change that a little bit, but you see how quickly it made that video. This works for any slide deck at all. I mean, I want you guys to see this just really quick. I am doing a lot of state test training. Okay. So here is my state test universal tools for the state test slideshow, right? So SBAC, CASP, universal tools. Take a look at this. I go through this with my students so they understand the kind of the traps that are laid and the different tools. The students like it, but they always say, Mr. Marquez, your slides are very boring. So what I did was I went to Notebook LM. Okay. I had my slide deck. I went to Notebook LM. And I said, I uploaded my my original CASP slide deck because all I did is click add from drive. I went to my slide deck and I wrote this caption or this prompt. I said, based on the source, generate a completely readable graphic novel with a superhero theme. And this is what it made for me. Boom. It explodes everything I was talking about. It makes the circle and the square. The circle is one. The square is multiple. All the different tools. It's your agility and time controls. It's just moving forward and back in the test. But they called it the agility and time controls. Here are your enhanced vision modes, right? The zoom in, the zoom out, the expand screen, the small screen, the glossary. It's the kids saw this and they're like, Mr. Marquez, this is so much better. And all I did is bring it into Notebook LM and put it here. My next step is I'm going to then, right, of course, let me show you in real time. I'm going to click on right here. I saved it just for you guys. My hero training, because I downloaded it as a PowerPoint and uploaded it and opened it as Google Slide. I click on convert to video. I hit convert. All of those are there. I say include voiceover and background. I hit import. And it literally just takes a minute and boom, all of my slides will be up there with a narrated track and audio music. And then all I need to do is add a few of those VOs in there and boom, we are done. And here we go. In a matter of minutes, here is my brand new CASP or state test resource tools.
Welcome to Mission CAASPP, the Hero's Guide to Universal Power-Ups. This is Academy Training Issue Number 1. Equip your tech, master your UI, and defeat the exam. Know your enemy. Question formats. The circle.
It's everything they need to know right here in 3 minutes. And so I'm going to hand this out to my teachers tomorrow and boom, it is done. And so really, Adam, the whole point to all of this is no longer are we beholden to the skills of others, right? We have the innovation. We have the knowledge. We know what our students need, but we may not have the coding skills. We may not have the graphic art skills. We may not have those skills, but the skills of an educator are all we need to make the impossible now possible. And we have shown this, right? Because we don't know how to code. I am a horrible graphic artist, right? But we made things that our teachers and our students will gravitate towards, will learn from, and will benefit their learning process than ever before. This is what Google tools make possible. This is what AI makes possible. And this is what a well-educated educator can make possible. But I want you to understand, AI is not doing the work. You are, through your words, through your thoughts, through your well-intentioned planning of what you want. And then we can make it possible. So I think this is amazing. It's a great opportunity for you to make the resources you've always wanted. Adam, I know I've been talking a lot. I want you to chime in here. What do you think about this? What do you think about everything that we're talking about? What are some final words you have for our listeners tonight?
Yeah, man. I know you turned me on to this whole graphic novel thing. I remember seeing Eric Kurt's thing about it, but you showed me how to kind of bring it to life using video in vid. So that's something that I've been kind of messing with more, and teachers and kids are loving it. So that's definitely something I learned something from you every time I see you. So this is something that's going to continue to grow my ability, and I can then bring that over to the teachers that I serve. So again, thank you for that, and I'm really looking forward to doing more. I actually started just one about the Battle of Trenton and the Revolution, and I'm going to animate the Washington crossing the Delaware. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I do want people to be aware, though. Be careful with your words and know your audience. Luckily, I made this for a 12th grade class, but a student wrote a review and overview of Macbeth. And if you know Macbeth, there's quite a bit of uncouth things that you wouldn't want to talk to elementary kids about. And so we made a slideshow for our 12th grade kids about Macbeth. Take a look at this. It is insane. I mean, knife, blood. But everything that it shows, it fits the Macbeth narrative like down. This looks like the original art from the graphic novel 300 before the movie came out. It is incredible. And the kids who looked at this, they were like, I want to read that. I want to understand this a little bit more. It is crazy. Sometimes all you need is to create the medium that they resonate with. And graphic novels right now, I have to say it's a medium that everybody's resonating with. It's absolutely insane. Yes, I could probably go back in and say, please limit the gore or the blood or the weapons. So that's why I show this. Be mindful of the content you're bringing into this. But also when you're typing your prompt, say this is for an age group of 14 to 18. So please limit weapons and blood. And it will follow your instructions, right? But oh my goodness, when I saw that, I was in love with the art. Maybe not the blood, but the art. It was absolutely amazing. And this is what we can do.
And
this is what we can do.
You could do vids. With vids, you could then ask it to do the voiceover using Gen Z slang. We did that with Romeo and Juliet for I think it was 11th graders, and it kind of summarized. I think it was Act 1 using Gen Z slang, and it was hilarious.
We could make a Macbeth graphic novel voiceover in the style of Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Like with Leonardo DiCaprio, but they didn't change the wording, but they just said it differently. But yes, in the language they know, right? And folks, here's the thing. I want to be completely honest with you. The voice, when you bring in this with the convert button, the voiceover is not always the best. It's not always the best. So the way that I love to do this is I go into a new chat, and then I click add from my drive. I'll go to the hero training just so you can do it. And I'll say this. I go, this slide deck is for a student who is visually impaired. Please generate a script for an audio book style recording for this student. And then I click enter. It'll do it. Every slide, it'll give me an actual script that's a little bit more detailed. And in this exact section, we can use Adam's a little extra and say, make sure the script is in Gen Z style wording, and it'll make it for you. And then all you have to do is come in, copy right here. You come back into your thing here, and then you click on your first script. I click on voiceover, and you can adjust that voiceover and just hit update voiceover. Again, everybody watching, this is not really a tutorial. This is a, did you know? Did you know that this is possible? And again, I was probably not sharing my screen at that point, but it's okay. It's okay. We want you to know that we're here to help. Adam has his socials right up there. You know what I want to do for you all? I want to give you my actual email. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Coming up on the screen right now. There's my email, Joe Marquez 70 at G. That's not how you spell Gmail, Joe. Oh my goodness. You can tell it's Friday, everybody. But you know what Gmail is, right? You know what Gmail is. AIL. So please, if you are in the Central Valley, if you're not in the Central Valley, if you are an educator, if you are passionate about what you're doing, join Central Valley GEG. If you are in Colorado, join Colorado GEG. If you're in Ohio, you're probably already part of the Stephanie and Eric show, right? They are absolutely amazing educators. But if you're in the Central Valley and you feel like your voice is not being heard, if you're in the Central Valley and you know you're doing amazing things and you don't feel like you're getting recognition for it, we want to be that recognition for you. Adam and I are big proponents of making sure everybody's voice is heard. And you know what? If you want to join us for one of these shows, you want to show something amazing that you're doing, let us know. Contact us. Joe Marquez 70 at gmail.com. Adam has his socials. You can tech Coach Juarez right there. Definitely do that. And I want to give one more plug. If you are a tech coach trying to get people to follow you and you don't feel like they are, buy Adam and Kat's book. I tell you, I read that book. And every time I read it, there's a new nugget that I forgot about, and it's the right nugget for the right moment. And so they are amazing minds, amazing people, and they are Central Valley born and bred. So support them, support us, support the Central Valley. Our voice matters because not only do we grow the greatness of food for the world, we grow the greatness of innovation for education. And we want to make sure you know that you're a part of that seed. So everybody, thanks so much. I'm Joe Marquez. Adam, any final words?
Yeah, man, just keep on growing your greatness. Show what you think is not very innovative. Believe me, it's innovative to somebody. Please come join us and share it. We'd love to elevate your voice.
Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful Friday. I know we will. Cheers, Adam. Hope you have a great weekend. Let's go golfing soon. All right, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. See you later.